Hello, welcome to another Save Your Books video. We are doing live book restoration, book binding restoration of Richard Scarry's book, vintage children's books in general. And I'm just getting my live chat up so that I can see what y'all are talking about here. Let's see. Here we go. Chat. Chat is up. Great. We are looking at live chat. There you go. If you guys have any questions, I'm right here. Give me a shout out. All right, so I was just doing live Instagram, tearing some of my hinging tissue into little ribbons here so that I can repair some pages. And that's basically what I'm going to be working on. So just to catch you all up, if you've missed any of what's happened so far, I've got Cars and Trucks and Things That Go by Richard Scarry. Nope, not that one. Anyway, taking it apart, taking the binding apart. I'm going to repair this with a new spine out of this red Canapetta. And while I was doing it, I was planning to not have to re-sew this. I didn't want to, you know. But yeah, that's not good. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm working on here. Yeah, so what I've got going on is a lot of page repair. This got kind of torn to shreds, especially at the foot of the spine. I was trying to pick it up and this just fell right off. So I'm like, probably not gonna try and put that back, but I'll save it over there until I figure that out. So anytime you're having to redo some signatures like this, you want to start at one end and just kind of go through it, but you need to go through the middle of the signatures first. You do the middle and then you work your way out. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that it all fits back together. So this book has 3 signatures, 1, 2, 3, and the weird thing, it's not that weird, is that the right, the outer part of the signature became the paste down. And so that just means that half of this page actually goes with that. That was the original thing. So when I'm doing the repair, I need to make a new hinge, and that'll go actually underneath this to reconnect. So let's get going. Just keeping that in mind, I'm going to work on the first of the signatures and set aside these other 2. I have already checked to make sure that there are page numbers. If there are not page numbers, you're going to have to write page numbers in. This has page numbers. So I'm just going to set that aside. You have to start somewhere. I'm going to start in the front. And we'll go back down to hands-on. So I'm just looking for the middle signature. And that's it. And somebody threw some glue in here, or some glue possibly came through when it was being bound originally, but there are some spots that were sticking together here, 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 and here are the threads. You can just see kind of what's going on with that. All right. So I'm starting out by pulling the threads. I'm noticing that they are doubled, which, you know, when you're doing restorations, you actually want to pay attention to what kind of thread and whether or not it's a single thread or a double thread. And I've got my book repair knife. I just don't want to leave any dried glue here. So I'm seeing if I can lift that up. Yeah, and I mean the glue is removing a tiny bit of the image that's right here, and that's fine. It's just a little bit in the margin. It appears that whatever this glue is, that it was a white flexible glue, probably fairly archival because it hasn't fallen apart in all this time. Okay, and while I'm working on this, I get to tell you guys a little bit about the certificate course that I am offering starting next month, being August 2024. And this is going to be a beta version, so it'll be the least expensive that it'll be going forward. And it's a 3-month course with 30 lessons planned, downloadable PDFs, quizzes, 6 Zoom calls with me to talk about whatever you're working on and the lessons if you're confused about anything. And at the end, you can get a certificate saying you understand book binding repair, you know, at a foundational level. And that's what you're going to get. When you take the course, you're going to feel confident when you pick up a book that you know what you should and should not do to repair that book, and actually have some confidence about doing a few repairs yourself. The 30 lessons are all things that can be done by a beginner, so that'll be good. All right, that's coming on. I just wanted to clean that up. I actually have kind of developed a hierarchy to think about book repair. And the first thing is, do I need to clean? And in this case, I wanted to clean that up a little more. There's still some like little sticky things. If I leave sticky things in there now, it might you know, stick in a way I don't want it to later. I want this to be able to open all the way to the middle. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to check on the other side. Actually, it's not a good idea to work on top of your other pages. I'll get rid of that. I just got this brand new cutting mat from Talus. talisonline.com. It's really nice. It's protecting my desk, which I had been starting to get worried about. Okay. There we go. Now, if there were any sticky things in here, I could, oh look, that's nice. So I've got my paste. This is the nori paste. I'm noticing that that little bit of green actually extends over onto the truck. That was nice. All right. Let's see if it'll stay. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so you can, I don't know, come back up here. Hello. All right, so you can repair the joint hinge part, the folded part of these signatures. You can repair them from the inside or from the outside, whatever makes sense. Sometimes when there's illustration on one side, you're going to do it from the other side. You have to think it through. It's not just like always do it from the outside. Don't do anything always. There's always a, you know, a reasoning behind why we're doing things. We're not just, it's not a mechanical thing. It's, I mean, bookbinding is pretty mechanical. You do things the same every time you make a book. With restoration, you really have to stop and think things through. So typically I repair the outside of the signature when I'm doing this. Oh, let's see. So I'm going to get some waste paper. Always keep something handy. This is actually from a roll of butcher paper. You go to a you know, chef supply store or something, and you can get these giant rolls of paper that have like plastic on one side and paper on the other. And when you're doing, you know, paste repairs, it's actually kind of nice to have a plastic area, because otherwise the paste can make your tissue stick to the thing, or you know, there's all these things. But this is nice. So I'm going to use this, and I've got this to the outside. All right, and all it's going to take is just a strip of this hinging tissue, and I've got, this is kind of the problem with this, is that it's really long. Like now I could do that whole thing all at once, but most likely as soon as I glue this out, it's it has a tendency to rip apart, and so it's because it's so delicate. So I could put this into two different pieces, and it won't make that big of a difference to the if it overlaps a tiny little bit in the middle, no big deal. So to make this easier on myself, I think I will just do that. Yeah, and I'm using the hinging tissue in part to avoid adding bulk to the signatures, but also it just doesn't need anything more than this right now. So okay, we'll go back down to hands-on. Here we go. Oh, looks like I was saving this. I'd done some painting on a piece of it, but I was like, it's a big piece of waste paper. I'm going to save it. So I've got my paste all mixed up. The little water. You have to add water when you go straight from the nori container. It's thicker than you want it to be for this. Okay. All right, now just get another strip that'll be long enough to cover that. Like I said, could have done this all in one, but didn't seem like a good idea. It seemed like you're more likely to waste the tissue, get it tangled up. estimated that length. There we go. All right, I've got my handy damp rag for cleaning. All right, so this is all still in a very kind of delicate way. All right, so now, oh, there's several things to do. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna go get some holly tags, which I don't have right here. Well, you could use holly tags. You could also, here's some wax paper. That's what I have handy. It's kind of nice to go with whatever's handy. I'm going to put some underneath, and I'm going to put some more on top, and get my bone folder, and just gently press that down. Yeah, and even that's pulling up. I'm going to use a Teflon folder. I really like Teflon for doing repairs like this. I'll show you what's going on. Let's see. So it's just so damp that as I was pressing down, even through the wax paper, it was sticking to the wax paper. Really want to get rid of some of that moisture, but you also don't want to have it stick to the thing you're getting rid of the moisture with. Like here, I've got a paper towel. That's better. Now it's looking like it's not popping up whenever I touch it. That's good. All right, so now, and this is kind of an interesting point. Let's see. So in order to come back up here. Hi. So interesting point. In order to move on to the next signature, the next folio within the signature, because there's 4 pages, and then this is the first one. Then I'll have to go to the second one. In order to move on to the second one, I need this one to be dry and ready to go because I want the next one to fit over this one. So it's really better if I can dry this real quick. And a great way to do that is to iron it. And whatever you do, don't iron onto a cutting mat. I'll show you. This cutting mat, it responds to heat, and the cutting mat would warp if you apply heat to it. In fact, that's how you can flatten it out. When this arrived, it was all rolled up, and I just went and I put it out on my deck in the sun, and it just flattened out. So now, in order to protect the cutting mat, I'm actually going to grab a piece of binder's board, not that one. Here we go. No. I want to get a pretty big one because I want it to fit underneath this, and then I'm going to do some ironing on top of it. Let me grab a board. I'll be right back. Sorry. It's nice to have a board shear. I just cut this on my board shear. All right, now I have a piece of binder's board to protect my cutting mat. And now I'm going to get my heat sealing iron, the UFO heat sealing iron. It's great. It's got a thing to hold the iron up so it doesn't, you know, ruin anything. Keep it out of the way. And this is another Talus product. It's super cool. It's got a heat style on it. And you could use a hair dryer to dry this area. It's just really noisy, so I kind of just don't want to do it while I'm doing video stuff, because that's no fun for you or me, really. Anyway, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to plug this in. Okay, I have that plugged in. Let's see, what is this turned on to? I'm going to put it to about 250, 300. Yeah, just below 300. I'm going to check out that temperature for this particular thing, and I'm going to get baking parchment because that's really what we want. While you can use the wax paper, it's like if you ironed the wax paper on this, you would then ruin your book with the wax paper, so don't do that. But baking parchment is safer. And I've got sheets of it here. Put some underneath so it doesn't stick to the binder's board. And have a sheet here. And I know this is maybe kind of silly. You totally don't need to do this. Their baking parchment comes in different colors. There's this is the kind of unbleached baking parchment, and it is. I just always make sure that in my shop I have brown baking parchment and white wax paper so that I don't mix up the two, because they come, you could get it all in white and then you're like, oh, I grabbed this thing and it was the wrong thing. So really you just want to make sure you're kind of doing yourself a favor and not setting yourself up for a failure later on. All right, oh, brand new, yeah, there we go. Just applying some heat, and that will, that's fun. This is brand new, and it's got some smoke coming out of it, which I'm assuming is just it's burning off some of the, stuff that was in here originally. There, I've turned it down a little bit. Oh, that's neat. It has these little lights. So it's like yellow, green, red as it's heating up to the temperatures. Interesting. This is pretty cool. It has a nice flat surface. I've worked with some other ones that are a little rounder, but so I really like this. That there. Yeah, just that little bit of heat really doesn't take very much. So now I've got that, and then got my handy dandy favorite Nevanon scissors. Once again, something you can buy from Talus. You'd think they were paying me, but they are not. Yeah, okay, so there we go. That's all good. Now, I'm going to show you this. So I want to fold this back together, but because I just ironed it, it's like I don't want to go folding back together. So it's a weird thing, but you can actually take a little moisture. So you just spritz it, and then that'll help it relax. So you can use a bone folder and flatten that out again. There we go. Yeah. Or a Teflon folder. I mean, there are pros and cons to Teflon folders versus bone folders, for sure. All right, one page repaired, done. Moving on to the next one. Oh, okay, this is interesting. dropped a page. Oh, I didn't even know this was in here. This is disappointing. Somebody used masking tape on this page. That's... masking tape. Okay, well, I mean, really, you just have to pull it off. I'll show you. Low and slow. Just get the... You want to get the carrier off of there and then worry about the adhesive. Yeah, and now, ugh, yuck. Masking tape. That's what people have around, though. Yeah, I mean, that's what people have around. So it's still sticky. There are different ways to go about getting rid of that. Let's talk about them, because, you know, that's what we're here for. It's like, we're just going to do one thing at a time and see what comes up. And this is how, I mean, it's like when you're remodeling a house and, you know, there's always a surprise when you knock a wall down or something. So, I mean, that's what I hear. Same thing with book binding, restoration, repair. You're always going to come up with, what? I didn't know there'd be tape. So, yeah. Good thing there are page numbers. I'm kind of just juggling these pages all over the place. All right, I'm going to set that over there. All right, so just to work on kind of one thing at a time. Like, it's possible to remove some sticky adhesives with heat. It's possible to remove some adhesives with chemicals. It's possible to remove some adhesives with moisture and being able to get that off of there. I'm kind of like, well, I've got the iron right here. I guess I'll see if that makes any difference. So I'm just gonna weight down the page a little bit so it doesn't move around so much, and get a little bit more baking parchment. I'm gonna heat up just a little corner of this and see if it makes a difference, if it makes it so I can scrape off the adhesive. Oh, I'm too low. Sorry, camera. Yeah, I'm heating up the adhesive residue from the masking tape and see what that does. Oh, it is stickier after I did that. Interesting. Well, that definitely removed some of the stickiness, so that's one way to go. I'm noticing that the adhesive residue does not go all the way through, which is nice. So I might just do that a little bit more and see what I think about that. I'm going to turn the iron up just a little titch. I mean, whoa, way sticky, hardly sticky at all. So that's something. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually kind of nice. Just getting that sticky residue off. And of course, I didn't mention the mechanical means of removing residue, which could be using the book repair knife, but it could also be using a crepe eraser. Look at that, just kind of balling up there. That's great. Yeah, it's not taking much to just reactivate it. I mean, reactivating it is kind of like making it movable again. Okay, throw that away. One more time right here. This is great. I really like this new iron that I just got. I've had other versions of tacking irons like this, and they have burnt out very quickly after not that many times. And the neck piece of other irons I've used have been like just one piece, and then you put any pressure on it and they just bend. So it's nice to have a solid neck piece there. Okay, so it's not perfectly unsticky, but it's better. All right, so I've got a whole nother one to do there. And there's another trick we could try. And I'm kind of like, should we do it? I guess we could try it. And that is to use some Clusel. This is leather consolidant, Clusel G. And I've done this before. It's just that, the chemical aspect. So I'll show you how I'm going to see if this will make another difference. We're going to try it out. Just stopper's stopped up. There we go. Just got a little bit of Clusel out of the container. And I'm just going to put it right onto that tape residue. May as well do half of it, see what happens. Don't mix the heat with the Clusel. The Clusel is 99.8% isopropyl alcohol. Heat, alcohol, don't mix. Don't do that. Don't heat up after you've put this on. So many warnings. Yeah, I'm kind of applying this like a poultice. I'm letting it soak in, and I'm just doing a little section of it so we can compare it to the other bit. We'll see what happens there. I've done this before with other tape residue and had good success. All right. And lack of patience is making me want to try it right away. So I'm gonna check it out. Here we go. Okay. Well, that is stickier than this for sure. Kind of liking that. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do the rest of that area. The good thing about it is that it is unlikely to change any of the colors or things around it, because it is just that alcohol and it should just evaporate. All right. Yeah, just being a little patient. I'll just mention again that I have bookbinding repair for beginners certificate courses starting next month. This is a new thing. Nobody else offers this. To get online instruction like this, you would have to, I don't know, find an apprenticeship somewhere. So that's what we're doing. And let's see. Oh, and just a note, you can get most of this stuff that I've been talking about here, the book repair knife, the hinging tissue, the paste, is all in the Save Your Books book repair kit, available at saveyourbooks.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, you know, the usual things, because that's nice. Because, I mean, the reason for that is that the best way to for any creative endeavor to thrive is to tell a friend. So if you do that, it'll help. All right, I'm going back to scraping. You guys can come watch. Pretty good. It's not as sticky at all. There's a lot. Oh, hi. Oh, did I get here late? No, you're here. Hi. Don't know how to pronounce your name. That is a big Guajiro. Just guessing. Anyway, thanks for being here. You're not too late. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's nice. The other way to kind of get rid of stickiness is these crepe erasers, available at pretty much any art supply store. And I'm just kind of double checking how that's working. Yeah. So I have not been super patient with this. I could let the Clusel sit a little longer to help get rid of that adhesive residue, which I think I will do. I am trying not to get it anywhere except on the residue, but it's not going to really hurt things much if it's a little bit over. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, you do have a window because it's, oh, I got the pronunciation. Good, I've been studying Spanish. I've been working on Duolingo for Spanish for 2 years now. I mean, I'm really slow. I only do like 5 minutes a day, but it's helping. So anyway, yeah, that's great. Okay. All right, I'm just going to try and, I put it on. I waited a minute. I'm going to see what wiping it off is like. It's very satisfying to just kind of wipe that and realize, look at how smooth that is. Now it doesn't hardly pick up at all. I think there's just a little bit right on the very edges there. And I don't know what that weird spot is right there. Okay, that's all pretty darn good. Now, when I have something like this going on with the tape, I don't like, because there's still even a little residue or a little, you don't want to have to worry about it. So what I'll do in a situation like this is I'll actually put a bit of the hinging tissue and just paste it right over that. And that helps protect the book from any stickiness, because then this will be protecting it. So in this case, with the hinging tissue, you can just go, oh, which one is the right thickness? Look at right there. I can just pick one of these. Oh, I went the wrong way. It is best to kind of grab close to the thing. Oh, the classes are starting in August. I am still working behind the scenes to get the web page up. That'll be where you can go and learn more about them. I'm learning more about that on Friday. Hopefully by next week I'll have them up. But the page where you can go and check out the cost. I mean, I could tell you the cost now, but I have to say it's like choosing a cost for classes is hard. I mean, I've put in literally hundreds of hours already behind the scenes, but I can't charge what I would for that. So I have to figure it out. But this is the beta version. I'm thinking eventually the classes, especially this foundational class, I think it's going to be around, 800 or 900 because it's a 3-month course. But I think it's going to be under 300 for this beta version. So it's really a beta version. You guys are going to be helping me figure out what would be even better for you guys or for the next cohort of students coming through the course. So I do hope you'll join me in that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's and it's going to be just the first of several. There's going to be this is the beginner course, foundations. You pretty much have to take this to take the next courses. So I'll be offering this one more frequently throughout the year, but they're not going to be ongoing all the time. So you have to get in while you can. And there's also going to be a limited number of students per cohort for the class. So so that when we're doing the Zoom calls for the one-on-one, or it's not really one-on students, teacher office hours. They're going to be office hours where we get to talk about stuff. So yeah, so that I'm going to keep that ratio low, although I haven't quite figured out. It's going to depend on how many people sign up. Like if it's 10 people, there might be 10 people in one cohort. If it's 12 people, I might split it into 6 and 6, like that, for how many people sign up before we actually start. And then it's just going to be for that 3 months. Definitely taking a break for the holidays, coming back. Probably the next course will be in January when we offer this. So you want to sign up, get in on the beginning if you can now. Like I said, the page isn't up yet. I'm working on getting that up. So make sure you're on my mailing list, because people who are, go to saveyourbooks.com, get on the email, and then everybody's going to get an announcement when this does come out. And that'll be great. So actually, I'm going to call this a day here at this point. If anybody has any questions, I feel like every time I say I'm going to end my little video here, everybody's like, but wait, I have a question. So I'm going to end. If you have a question, ask it now, because I'm about to end this particular video. Yeah, and next time I will have done some more page repair, and we'll come back together. And I might do more page repair next time, just because it's a lot. There's a lot to do. I want to get these books done and show you guys how to repair vintage children's books, this is great. And I mean, it's Richard Scarry. I love Richard Scarry. Look at this little guy in the molasses truck. I mean, that's adorable. So, okay, well, I will see you all next Thursday. Bye.